Everybody, it's Professor Goldstein. This is your class number 4 that I'm videotaping for you. I know how excited you are and how things are getting so much better as we go along during the semester. No, I'm just kidding. Listen, it's a tough slog. You have a lot of classes, you have work, you have families, you have lives. I understand how difficult it must be to keep up with your work, keep up with the videos, keep up with your assignment that I've given you, which is due on Monday. But I want to kind of like touch base a little bit about business today and do the part 2 of the sole proprietorship that I started on the last video, and talk a little bit about what a sole proprietorship is and what it means to you as a entrepreneur. Okay, so entrepreneurship, it's a weird word. What does it mean to be an entrepreneur? Well, an entrepreneur is usually somebody who, I'm sorry about my hair, starts their own business. It's someone who starts maybe not one business, but maybe like a serial entrepreneur, starts lots of businesses, actually gets a lot of their creativity, their energy by starting their own business, and the business usually takes on a lot of the personality of the person who starts that business. It really has that energy and that attitude of whoever it is that begins the business. And I think a lot of people want to start their own business, are afraid to start their own business, don't have the money necessarily. They think they need a lot of money to start their own business. And I want to talk a little bit about that today because it really fits into the whole idea of sole proprietorship. You own your own business. The business is your idea. The business is you. It's a reflection of who you are. It's kind of like your style, the clothes you wear, the type of family you have, the house you buy, the car you drive. These are all reflections of you. That doesn't necessarily mean who you are, but it's a reflection of your ideals, what you think. The city you choose to live in, the state you choose to live in, the country you're from, the religion, the ethnicity, whatever it is that is inside of you is reflected in who you are. Sometimes it's not, sometimes it is, but most times there's some sort of, when I say reflection of you, it's your thoughts, your ideas, your hopes, your dreams, your attitude. All these things are a product of nurture, not necessarily nature. Nature is really, what you're born with genetically, but nurture, how you grew up and where you grew up and what you are. And so a lot of entrepreneurs are reflections of their nurture. And one of the things that I think you have is a strong advantage if you're from Brooklyn. And I say this a lot about Brooklyn, and I mean this because so many great entrepreneurs and business people have come out of Brooklyn. And I think it's very much a drive and an attitude. A drive and an attitude when it comes to business. And it's very much a strong work ethic and a strong ideal about what you want to do, and that nothing's going to stop you from accomplishing your task. So it's a little bit of like a pep talk for me today. So I tell you that you can go to Kingsborough, you can go to any college, you can go to Harvard, you can go to Yale, but in the business world, it really doesn't matter. I mean, yeah, it's great. You have a Yale degree, you have a Harvard MBA, that's very impressive. Go hang that up on the wall. But really, what makes it in the business world is your strength, your creativity, your sense of purpose, and really what drives you in business. So I think that all of you have the ability to create your own business. And I'm going to be I keep saying I'm going to be putting up the syllabus. I will put it up this week. But at the end of the syllabus, you're going to be doing what's called a business plan. And we're going to go through on video what I expect from the business plan and what I'm looking for in the business plan. And each of you is going to create your own business, your own idea. Now, when I say create a business, I mean And I want you to start thinking about a very small business, not a big business. I'm not talking about renting a store. I'm not talking about a mom and pop rental. I don't want you to be paying rent to anybody. I want your business to be either on a computer, in your house, or maybe like at a small table at a fair or one of those flea markets. I really don't want your business to go beyond that. And we're going to talk in the next video about the idea of the lemonade stand, which is really, the lemonade stand is very much used in business practices as an idea of what a startup is, what you need, and all the things you need for a lemonade stand in order to get a lemonade stand started. But we're going to talk, each of you has to be thinking about what kind of business would you want to create in college, right now while you're in college. And it shouldn't be taking up a lot of your time. It should be a small percentage of your time, maybe 10 hours a week, 20 hours a week, not a large amount of time because you have other obligations. Obviously you're in college, but everybody should at least have an idea of what type of business they might be good at. And I've had over the years now, I've done this project numerous times with many Kingsborough students over the many years that I've taught. And I will say this, some people have come up with some of the most creative, most wonderful businesses that I've ever seen. And some people have come up with some very, plain and simple businesses. And some people have taken businesses that I've kind of advised them to and they've done things with them. But I want you to make the business, and I'm going to take a sip of this, make the business your own. The business should reflect who you are and what you like and what you're interested in. Make this business whatever it is. It should be about you. You don't want to create a business that you hate. You don't want to create a business that you're bored with. You don't want to create a business that's not interesting to you or doesn't really reflect you. You want to create a business, obviously, that's going to make money. Yeah, you want to make money. Obviously, you want to make money. But really, you also want to keep yourself engaged in the business. You want to keep yourself thinking about the business. How am I going to grow this business? What do I like about this business? What am I going to do with this business? You always want something that's going to intrigue you, engage you about the business. You don't have to love it, but it keeps you interested in it. And that's really a great thing. Like, even if I tell you right now, tutoring. Let's say you want to have a tutoring business in college, and you want to tutor other students. Now, if you're interested in tutoring, if you're interested in helping out other people, if it's something that's enjoyable to you, taking a person or taking a group of people and teaching them something that you know well, and so that they will do well in college, maybe not even tutoring college students, but tutoring high school students or tutoring junior high school students or something like that, tutoring them in math or English. That is a business. You open up your own tutoring business, you put up your own flyers, you advertise maybe on the internet or someplace, and you get a couple of clients, or you advertise through word of mouth, and you have, 10 hours a week you tutor students. So you have 10 students a week, an hour each time, and you get paid $50 an hour to tutor. I'm just making it up because I don't know what the rates are for tutoring right now. But that's $500 a week, pretty much. That is a legitimate business. I mean, you don't have to, it's your business, you own it. You might want to hire other tutors to work for you. But that's what I consider a good college business. That's a business that really doesn't take that much startup money, if any at all, probably nothing. Doesn't take a lot of thought, a lot of creativity. You just kind of put it together and it reflects you, because it's your idea of what you are. The person who is teaching, you are the person who is helping others, you are the person who is creating the business, and you can come up with a creative name for your business, and you can expand the business. And when you're done with college, you might want to keep going, or you might want to stop the business. I'm sorry. So there's all sorts of businesses out there that are like that for college students. We're going to talk about a lot of them But I want you to understand that you have the option in your life to start a business. It doesn't have to be a major business. It doesn't have to be, you could make pies in your kitchen, really good pies. I'm making it up. Something. Cookies. And sell those cookies to a group of people, different people that enjoy your cookies. So I'll give you an example. When I worked at Baruch College, which is a great business school, if you're thinking of going on to business school after Kingsborough, or even after transferring from Kingsborough to another college, Baruch was a great college to work at. Even though I'm not wearing a Baruch hat, I'm wearing the college that I went to. Baruch was a great college to work at, and had a lot of business students, and majority business students. And there was a woman who worked in my office, who was a graduate business student getting her MBA, and she was also an extraordinarily good cook. I mean, just fantastic. And she would bring in these red velvet cakes into the office, as like a treat for everyone who worked at the college in the office. And they were fantastic. I mean, just absolutely better than you could buy at any bakery. And we all said to her, you should sell your cakes. You should sell your cakes. And she said, she goes, everyone tells me that, but I always feel weird selling the cakes, and to friends. And I said, absolutely not. Do not feel weird. You're helping us out. You're making our lives better because you're giving us something that we enjoy. We want to pay you for the cakes. It's very nice that you give us a free slice every once in a while, but we want you're helping your friends out by selling them the cakes. I wanted to explain that to her. I think she felt like she was taking something from us. And I'm like, no, it's not that way at all. The business relationship is very much a give and take. You're giving us something that we want or need, and we're giving you cash in this case as a trade for what your hard work and the product that you're making. And it's actually a very good thing. You're actually helping us and we're helping you. There's a trade off of good feelings on that. So she started doing that. She started making cakes and selling them to different people at the college. I mean, basically, on the side, she would get like 20 orders, 30 orders, and sell the cakes. And she was selling the cakes for, a fairly good price. They were a little bit more expensive than at a bakery, but they were amazing cakes. And it really took off to the point where it became a real business. She started selling the cakes to bakeries, to restaurants, things like that. And her whole MBA, her whole business plan in her MBA became about her cake business. And it became a fairly successful cake business. I don't know if she still keeps it to this day, but at one point, she was making enough to pay for her college tuition, at her MBA program. She was making extra money for her family, and the business took off. And I kind of, not that I deserve credit for, she was the one who made the great cakes, but I helped her along. I actually told her, listen, take this cake into these restaurants. And I gave her a list. And some of the restaurants I knew some of the people at. And I said, and tell them that you will, provide them with 10 cakes a week for their restaurant. And let me know what goes on. And they all fell in love with these cakes. Obviously, these cakes were spectacular. And they would have a standing order. Once you start getting those standing orders from different businesses, that really is a base. That's a foundation for your business. Every week you're going to get a certain amount of money. It's a tremendous thing for a sole proprietorship. So, what do I want you to do? Why am I doing this video today? It's time for you to, even though I haven't given you what we're going to be doing yet with a business plan, or what the syllabi is for the rest of the semester, basically your final project is going to be a 4 or 5 page business plan based upon this idea of a college business. And you're going to be doing a very brief, very easy business plan based upon the idea of having a small business while you're in college. Nothing hard, but it makes it so that it's the first step really in doing a business, creating your own business. And all businesses are the same. I mean, they're all basically the same. It's just, some are scaled up much larger. But your business is really just going to be scaled for one or two people. You might want to hire somebody if you need extra help, 2 or 3 people. But basically, it's a sole proprietorship. You're going to own the business. You're going to come up with the idea for the business. The idea could be a brand new idea, something brand new that we've never heard of before, or it could be an idea based upon other businesses. You're going to tell us what makes your business different. In the case of, let's say, tutoring, well, you are the difference. You're the person who's going to be tutoring, so what makes you a different? Why would someone want to go to you as a tutor as opposed to someone else? And we're going to talk a little bit about competition, and we're going to talk a little bit about innovation, and we're going to talk a little bit about creativity in your business, advertising and marketing, things like that, and we'll build your business. I thought my dog was coming down again. We'll build your business throughout the semester, and then we'll have a final business plan. And if you want, this is not reality. If you want, you could make that business your business. You could actually do it. Or if you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. Nobody's forcing you into doing a business. I want you to have the option in your lives that you don't have to work for anybody. There's my dog. You don't have to work for anyone. That you could create your own business, be your own employer, not have to worry about, getting to work at 9 o'clock, having someone evaluate you, reprimand you, although those are good things, sometimes it's positive and constructive. I want you to be able to understand that you could stand on your own, and you don't need someone else, or you might want to have that security. I decided in my life I had the security of working a job at a college, but I also had my own outside businesses. I always had, God forbid things didn't work out at those colleges, or I got bored with those colleges, and now I'm pretty much retired from the college, except teaching these classes. I have other businesses outside that really are a reflection of me and who I am, and I'm going to talk about that also in the next video, my business. And really what my business is all about, and how much, I'll be pretty honest, I'm going to give you how much I make from the business, and how much I put into the business, and what the business does for me on a daily basis, in terms of my emotional health. I believe that, as like Freud said, work and love are the 2 most important things in life. And really he meant work, any kind of work. I mean, but for me, it's owning this business keeps me alive. Teaching keeps me alive. The love of my wife and my kids, that keeps me alive, and my dog. Those are the things that keep me alive, my family. But work, keeping yourself engaged, keeping yourself busy, keeping yourself young. Some of you may think I look my age. Some of you may not think I look my age. I'm 62 years old. I'm going to be 63 soon. So I'm getting up there. I mean, I have the gray hair, but I'm young of spirit. I'm young of mind. I think I have, everything going for me, and I get up in the morning and I really enjoy life, and I enjoy my job, and I enjoy the people where I work, and I want that for you. I talk about this for me, and I say, I really want that for my students. I want my students to be happy in their lives. I want my students to be engaged in their lives. I want my students to have a job or a business in their lives that they enjoy. And if you ever hear a really great entrepreneur talk about a business, they all love it. Listen, they could be billionaires. They could be multi-billionaires, but they're still working. And you say to yourself, why are they still working? Why? Because they love it. They love getting up in the morning. They don't know what's going to happen at their job, where they work, what their business is, but they love opportunity. They love innovation. They love creativity. They would be bored without it. They would be bored. So listen, it's not about the money after a certain point. How many cars could you have? How many houses? How many jets can you have? It's about keeping yourself engaged. It's about enjoying yourself. I have elderly friends who are very, very well-to-do, who are constantly, they would never retire. Now, when I say retire means, for me, was like a second phase of my life, or third phase of my life, really, third phase of my life. Really, retirement, when I retired from Kingsborough full-time, I knew that I was going to be doing other things. I was not going to be, day one after retiring, I had a million things to do. I was busier than I was and I've been busy since. So I'm not bored, ever. I get up in the morning, I've got things to do that day. It's just not a 9 to 5 job. I have things to do, but nobody's telling me what to do anymore. I own my own, although even owning your own business, you have customers that are constantly, and people that you deal with, other businesses that you deal with, that are constantly telling you what to do. My business, we're constantly renovating, redoing the place, constantly adding on new products, constantly doing events and things like that at my business. And I'll talk about the business next time. And I'm constantly working, and constantly coming up with new ideas. I'm going to keep this one short today, so I'm going to stop it right now. I will do another class on this next time, and I hope you kind of tune in, because it's really important to keep watching these videos, because I'm going to be talking a lot about your final project for the semester, and the only way you'll know about it is by watching these things. So I hope I didn't bore you too much. I hope this was short enough for you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.